Okay, here's my gun update. Right, first I made a wooden bung for the end for the switch, like that. Just a piece of brush handle. Carved it out with a Stanley knife. Pushed that in the end, drilled an hole to put the switch in. There you go, like that. There's a million different ways you could do this, but I'm doing this to put a switch in the end, so I can switch the scope on and off. Right, there it is. That's what it'll look like. There you have it. And that's what it'll look like that. The switch just pushes in, so just a tight fit. It's ain't glued in or anything, just pushed in. And I've got some plastic filler, some of this cheap stuff, and I'm trying to make the gun look a bit more realistic. So I gonna fill some of the holes in that shouldn't be there, make it look a bit more realistic. Like these holes here shouldn't be there, so I'm going to fill them in. So firstly I filled them in with some wood, some bit of hardboard there. Just fill them in, put some super glue on, and then cut them off, and then smooth it off with filler. Then I put a bit of writing on, just scratched it on with the Dremel and a little engraving tool, put the serial number on, and a little bit of the writing. You ain't going to see it anyway with the paint, it'll just give it a bit more realism effect. And I filled that hole in where the bullet thing comes out. And now I'm going to darken it because I don't like the colour, it's too bright. So I bought some gunmetal, grey gunmetal paint, like this. And painted it with that. Now what you can do is you can scratch the paint and the silver underneath comes through and it makes it look a bit beat up, a bit damaged, and that's a good effect. But I'm not going to do that, but you can. I'm going to keep it like new looking. Then I decided to put a bit more realism. I used some black enamel paint, a tiny little tin, to do the handles. It's hard wearing paint, but it takes ages and ages to dry this enamel paint. So there you go, black enameled them, let that dry. And then I've got there, that is a Coke can. Cut it open, you can cut it with scissors, it's something like paper. Bit of a Coca-Cola can, turn it inside out, glued that on for that bit. Now it's a bit of a mistake really, because that thing should be further along, it should be away from that. But it is what it is, that's it. You know, I don't know anything about guns. So there's that. That's a Coca-Cola can. There it is. I painted the stand, make it look better while I was painting. Now this is the kind of switch I use. This is where I had it from. If you want to know what it is, you could use any type, but this looked okay. It was dirt cheap. I think there was 4 or 5 of them in a bag for about £4, so there's about £1 each. switch electronics, that's where I had it from. And that's it, that's the switch I used. Right, shove that in the back, in the bit of wood, solder it onto the laser pen for the sight. I did a video about the sight, it's on the other end of that. Put some bit of sleeving over it. I pushed that in the back and it kept popping out, so I put a couple of screws in to hold it in. Tiny little screws, smallest I could find. Like that. Now what I'm going to do now is get some varnish, some polyurethane tough varnish, and paint it all, make it hard wearing so it can get knocked about a bit and not get chipped. And I think that's about it for the gun. That's gonna have to do it. Not too bad really, considering, you know, I've done it cheap and with what I've got, so got away with it, I think. Not too bad, and I'm learning as I go along and improving. So there it is. That's it. I cover that with a dull varnish to protect it, and that's the gun. And switch the laser beam on and off with a switch on the back. And there you have it. Okay, thank you.